Okay, so I wanted to talk about something that had been making the rounds, making the rounds. Well, something I saw. What is grammar? Something Naira Marley posted first of all. I mean, that was a bit funny, but so he said something about, and this was in response to the COVID-19 threat, around right now. He said there were about 5,000 people infected with unwanted pregnancies. I think that was like a bit of a joke, but truth in the joke, but whatever. And then I also saw a video of Tacha, talking about how more than anything, hunger was a grave killer, and a lot of Nigerians were at risk of not eating because, the sit-at-home order is basically saying you can't work. So, and, these people are on wages. So if they don't work, they don't earn. And if they don't earn, they wouldn't eat. And at the end of the day, if you don't eat, what happens? You die. And I saw a lot of comments. There was, just people reacting basically to it. So as unconventional as these two people, have, as unconventional as the timing that these two people have come out to say whatever it is that they've had to say, they did not lie, There was sense in what they said. In the sense that, okay, seriously. There was sense in the sense that, so death, excuse me, the ultimate fear even for the COVID-19 or the coronavirus is death, right? And these two people are saying that, see, there are other issues that plague Nigerians that can ultimately lead to death as well. So if people are hungry, they will die. If, young girls are burdened with unwanted pregnancies, there's bound to be confusion. In that confusion, they might take decisions that, they're not they haven't thought through, and that might result to death, or it might even lead to psychological issues that might lead to them taking their own lives. So, however I look at it on both sides of the spectrum, we're talking about death, whether by hunger, by, psychological confusion or depression or whatever, or by coronavirus. So, however, there's an angle that I wish, excuse me, there's an angle that I wish that, we would look at this thing from. Yes, death can actually come by hunger, starvation, or whatever. Death can come from, some form of depression or psychological imbalance. It can also come from getting the coronavirus. What I think we're not thinking about is the choices that we have to make as human beings that would ultimately lead to our death. Death will come. So right now what we're talking about is how it comes, Abby. So the person who decides that, I cannot sit at home because of this coronavirus thing. I need to go out and hustle and look for food to eat, or else I would die. What we're talking about here is just how this person is choosing to die. Do you want to die of the virus, or do you want to die of hunger and starvation, or the confusion and depression that comes with an unwanted pregnancy? This is my problem with all of these choices. Unwanted pregnancy, except it's a case of rape, this is, a consenting adult or young adult who has decided to have sex, and there are consequences for sex, so you get pregnant, right? So that's almost like a consequence for an action, basically. For starvation and for hunger, it's not necessarily something that you bring upon yourself. It's a situation that you find yourself in. You depend on wages. You don't get those wages, so you don't eat. Now, the thing with starvation is, if you starve to death, chances are you might die alone. Even if both of us have our last meal 2 nights ago, exactly the same meal, we had our last meal 2 nights ago, one person might pass on before the other. That's sure. So chances are with starvation, you will die alone. However, if you defy the orders of the Lord to, leave your home now to go and hustle or fend for your daily meal or whatever the case is, you might end up not just deciding how you want to pass, but you might also decide how other people pass. So in your bid to go and get food, you might contract the disease. You might contract the disease by contact, and then, unknowingly take that same virus back home, and somebody else contracts it. And so you have not just decided your own death, you decided the death of other people. And as easy as it sounds, just looking at myself saying all of this, it's a rather selfish decision. The same way you feel like you want to choose how you die, let me also choose how I die. Don't go and, if I have a farm and, you want to come to my farm to say, oh, here is 100 Naira, I want a tuber of yam. Don't come into my farm if I have not chosen to die by coronavirus. What if I want a car to jam me and die? What if I choose some other means of death? So at the end of the day, it's about our rights and our choices. Starvation is a killer. At the end of the day, even sitting at home, you might die of this starvation. I'm just saying that, let's just try to do the right thing in thinking of all of these options of, things that might cause deaths or other things that might cause deaths. Let's just consider that with this virus, we're putting other people at risk, because it's just by living your normal life, breathing, speaking, touching, you do something and then you touch your face or touch your nose, and the virus is transported into your respiratory organs, and it becomes fatal. So please, I know it's trust me, it is a bore just sitting at home, virtually doing nothing, having the kids screaming in your ear. But please let us just try, for our sake, for the sake of our loved ones, and other people who also stand a chance of just contracting this illness and passing on. Let us just try to sit at home. It's not easy. This thing when I take one mouth talk, not easy like that. Really, just like Tacha said, if you rely on daily living, daily existence, it's not easy. But let's for now, let's think of the greater good. I don't know how we want to do that. I don't even know if anybody's brain is processing right now. But let's just think of other people. Let's not be let's not be too hasty to say, oh, this is my life, this is how I choose to die, or whatever. Think of other people who might be vicariously affected by your own decision. Yeah.